Green Grease, the waterproof fertilizer-resistant synthetic grease that lasts up to 8 times longer than regular grease. Now available at participating Napa stores, AutoZone, Tractor Supply, and Advance Auto Parts.
On this episode of Tractor Fanatic, we'll get back out to Mike Thomas's Hillbilly Farms and check out more of his classic farm machinery.
We were eating barbecue, we were drinking wine. It was homemade wine too. They had not red or white, but they had grape and peach, and it was damn good. Now, you sure this isn't moonshine, but you just put color in it? You put your pickles on the bun. I put mine on the side. That's an East Coast thing.
You can't handle both at the same time?
I cannot handle both at the same time. I can't handle it. If I can handle a pickled pig's feet, I can handle a barbecue sandwich. Pickled pig's foot.
You about ready for another wine?
Well, the other one wore off.
You be careful with that now. That stuff will make you feel single and see double.
Okay. Listen, you guys need to stop lecturing me. So Mike's been living and working in this area his whole life, and he knows everybody in the community. It's kind of like talking to a politician, because the whole time he's just walking around shaking hands, kissing babies, shaking hands, kissing babies. Matter of fact, you can only talk to him for a minute, because he's got so many people that are going to come up to talk to him.
See, I've been a 4-H leader for 34 years, and I've had over 1,000 kids go through a tractor program. 1,000 4-H'ers from 9 years old to 18. And that man right there in the Moline hat, his son was in my program there years ago, and that's John Spady, and his son is now an engineer for Case IH, and because of
what you did,
well, not what I did, but because of the realm of working on tractors and restoring them and overhauling them, and this is background. When a company hires somebody, they look. And they liked his book that he did on his tractor, which is the second one over there, the UB, the second tractor. And you have to have a book that shows what you do to it and where you acquired it and what you've done to it. And they looked at that book when Corey Spady was interviewing for this national job, and there were several others interviewing for it. But they went back to that book and said, this is the young man we think we want. And so that makes a guy feel good.
Yeah.
When the upbringing, of course, they were from a farm family, and you got to have I call that the mechanical gene.
Yep.
You gotta be just a tad bit mechanically inclined, or you don't get along with it, unless you got enough money to hire somebody to do it.
Yeah.
Then it's easy. So.
Yeah, but people got it or they don't.
Yeah.
They really do.
That's right. This is a little tractor that it was the baby of the line compared to that, see? And it came from Southern Illinois, a little town called Metropolis. Nothing super about it. It's nice and straight. It's our garden tractor as far as a rototiller.
Green Grease, the waterproof fertilizer-resistant synthetic grease that lasts up to 8 times longer than regular grease. Use Green Grease on your car, truck, tractor, boat trailer wheel bearings, anything with a grease fitting. Green Grease seals and protects, even underwater. Now available at participating Napa stores, AutoZone, Tractor Supply, and Advance Auto Parts.
The Moline behind it, I drove past for probably 30 years, 20 years at least. And one day in Henderson in Kentucky, and I was in a semi one day and happened to be high enough on the highway that I could see over a privacy fence, and there sat the Moline in a backyard, and it had sat there for years. And that was probably just came in last summer, and so I negotiated for it. It was stuck, got it running in the backyard, and of course I got it running. And then the clutch was stuck, so then I had to get that unstuck. But it's a little 4-star. It's neat because it has the headlights, the cast iron headlights.
So when did you get the bug for collecting? Is it after you got that first one when
started-
you were a
no,
sophomore,
well,
or did you
yeah,
just
yeah,
go,
about a
man, I want to
sophomore.
get another one?
No, it was actually the moline bug came from your parent. If your dad had let's say your dad had a 65 Chevy Impala hardtop SS.
He had a Cutlass.
There we go.
He's an Oldsmobile
Prime
guy.
example. Exactly.
I'm an Oldsmobile guy.
Okay, 442 then.
Now I got a F85.
All
It's a
right.
65.
That's
as a matter
right.
of fact.
See?
Yeah.
So we're right on. When I was at Murray State, F85s, I looked at one. Wow, look at these pretty little cars. See, because I had a 62 Chevy 2 hardtop. Oh God, I wish I still had it, but you traded them all.
We all wish we had them all.
See, the 56 I started with, the 56 Chevy automobile. I gave $450 for it, drove it for 2 years, and sold it for $450. I thought I was doing great. But anyway, my point is, tractors are just like your dad and what you're talking about. Exactly, just a different interest. But that's how it grows, and then you get one, and then you like another, and the little one over there, the little BF, the little yellow one,
Yeah,
was
that
the
thing's
baby of the
pretty.
line. Now that was made in your hometown, Louisville.
Really?
That's where that one was made. This tractor came from Illinois. It's set in the shed, pretty well had rotted down to zero. And there's a boy walking around out here right now, sold it to me. And I brought it in and went to tearing the motor down to overhaul it, and it was pretty rough shape, so I had to buy 4 more parts tractors to tear them down to get the parts.
4.
4.
Wow.
And I went down to a salvage yard at Central City and bought 4 motors, and I tore them down and got the parts I needed, which they still weren't new, but it made it run magnificent, and I was pleased, and don't smoke. And it
Runs great now?
Runs great. And
Do you use this one much?
actually, no. It's pretty small for the hills I live on. If you put too much behind it, it'll shove you down the hill.
Yeah.
Any of these small tractors. But this is a BF, Avery, that Moline bought out in Louisville to have a small tractor. And this is one that's been brought back, and the grandkids like to drive it, see? And I enjoy driving it, but that's a challenge to tear it down and start over, see?
Yeah.
All the way down, take it apart and rebuild it. That's
That's a ton of work.
a ton of work.
Okay, and on a personal note, every once in a while you meet those people in your life that are just good people for the community, and Mike Thomas is one of those folks. I got a personal rule that I don't hang out or associate with anybody I wouldn't leave my kids alone with, and he's one of the people. I drop them off here and go somewhere for the day, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't want to come back with me.
On our next episode of Tractor Fanatic, we'll make our way out to Carl and Don Vilwalk's farm in Edwardsport, Indiana to check out some great classic tractors.